Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Many people want to redecorate, but they're just not sure where or how to get started. Here to share where to find inspiration, we welcome interior designer Emilia Callero. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Hannah.
You have some really simple, approachable ideas for us to kind of begin the process, because it can feel really daunting.
It can feel really daunting, and so many of my clients complain to me about, I don't know where to start to find inspiration, and they get really overwhelmed. And the reality is, it's not for the lack of inspiration out there, it's that in this digital era, it is so overwhelming to digest all of the beautiful images that we're seeing daily on social media or on Pinterest. And I try to tell my clients, you know, before we start this journey, I recommend that we close the computer and we stay off Pinterest.
Okay. Take a break. Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Start simple. So your tip number one for us is anchor your design. Tell me about that concept.
Okay. So anchoring the design is asking you these three questions. And so it's who, what, and where. So I want to know if clients want to anchor their design around someone. Could this be a relationship? Is this going to spark any ideas to start that project?
Okay.
The second one is what? Now, is there something, you know, a lot of clients have very sentimental things. Is it art or photos that are just locked in a closet?
Right.
And we don't know what to do with them. So let's bring them out and see, can this be the spark to move that decorating project forward? And then the last one is where. So is there a special place that maybe you have from childhood? Is it your honeymoon? Is it, you know, for one of my clients, they met in Japan, and we made this beautiful gallery wall based on all of these trinkets that they met, that they found when they met together in Japan, and that really sparked the idea for going forward with the design.
That's so beautiful. What a great place to start. Okay, and then you say start an inspiration book, and is that what you have an example for us here?
That's what I have an example for here. So one thing that I try to tell clients all the time, and this is a very important part of the decorating process, is that when you undergo a design project, remodel, what you're really doing is you're curating a magnificent piece of art.
Sure.
So I don't want clients to look at kitchen images to try to get inspiration for their kitchen. I want to start back and get my clients into the mentality that what you're doing is you're creating art.
Okay.
So at the most basic level, I want clients to start collecting things that just make them happy and smile and get that pitter patter.
Wonderful.
So for example, this is a page from my inspiration book. And as you can see, this was something I was collecting inspiration for a room in my house, but this has nothing to do with that room. This was just me getting ideas of things that make me happy. So it's not to say because I love, you know, dried flowers that they have to be involved, but it's just a way that your brain can go back to be reminded in your body so you know this is what makes me happy. Because how many times do we pin things and then we forget about it?
Completely. It's gone.
And then
on to the next thing.
On to the next thing.
Which brings us to, how about a Polaroid camera?
How about a Polaroid camera?
What a great idea.
This is something that I love doing. So again, when we have our phone and let's say we're out shopping or whatever, we will take 1 million photos, right? When do we ever look at those photos?
Almost never.
Almost never. So what I try to tell clients is, if you know you're going on a trip, if you know that you are going to a furniture showroom and shopping, you give yourself 15 photos.
Oh, I like that.
So you're more judicious, you're more conscientious, you're just gonna take a photo of the thing that really resonates with you, and then you have a physical representation that you can go back. You can even put it in your book if you want.
There you go.
So you know you're really creating these reminders of things that make your heart go pitter-patter.
Every click counts when you're using it that way. Okay, and then you have this very cool, I mean, we're just taking it back, magazine cutouts and an old-fashioned bulletin board.
Exactly.
To kind of bring that, the Pinterest board in real life.
Exactly. I like to tell clients we're going to take it back to the 90s. So when I was in high school, this is what we did to get inspiration.
For sure.
We had no computers. And the beauty about this is when you're going through that process of cutting, right? And then you're going through the process of putting it up there. These images are getting integrated more into your psyche than they will when you're on a computer. And then you can put this in a prominent place in your house so that you are walking by and you're getting reminded of the trends, you know, and you're getting reminded of what you're seeing come up over and over again. So this could be, you know, oh, I'm noticing that all of these that I'm cutting out have blue in them.
Okay.
How am I going to incorporate this? Maybe it's how I use the kitchen cabinets. Maybe this is what I want on my pillows. But you're just reminded over and over again that I'm really drawn to these specific things.
Yeah, and you can kind of add and subtract as you go. Hey, that thing I liked last week, it's not really sitting well with me today.
Exactly.
Let's keep looking.
Exactly.
But you also say we've got to start small and we've got to be on a deadline, because you could just keep going and going and going forever.
You could.
It's very fun, but we got to get something done eventually.
You do. You do. And so I always tell clients, you need a deadline.
Yeah.
You need a deadline. So 6 months is way too long.
Okay.
Because then we just kind of get lost, we forget what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then so many times I have clients call me and say, my contractor said that I need to pick the tile by next week, it's getting installed. That's way too short of a time.
Yeah.
Nobody is happy with design results when they're rushed.
That's a big, scary decision.
That's a big, scary decision. So the sweet spot's 3 months.
Okay.
So before you start shopping, before you go on Pinterest, before you even reach out to a designer or a contractor, give yourself 3 months just to soak in with these tips.
Okay.
So you know what is rising to the top, so you know what it is that you're liking, so you have a little bit more idea that you can present to your designer.
And then you'll feel so much more secure in your ideas that you've sat with them. You're sure this is the direction I want to go, and you'll be so excited for the finished results.
So excited, and that's part of the process, right? We all want to feel so excited when we walk in, and we don't want to see things, oh, I regret that I did that, I regret that I bought that, right? And so this is really, these are things that are tried and true that I've used in my personal life, that I've had clients use, and it really, really helps us get in touch with what it is that we love.
Amazing. Thank you so much for bringing us all these beautiful things. Great tips, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.